Vlog number 31, Neurological Smack Down. One of the earliest memories that I have as a kid centers around professional wrestling. My mom was a huge fan of it, or I should say that in particular, she cheered for a specific wrestler named Gentleman Dutch Savage, who was part of a local wrestling circuit. The arena was located about an hour away from my home, and the action was broadcast every Saturday night on a local TV station. I can remember many tense and nail-biting weekend evenings in our house as we cheered and booed appropriately at the many varying situations that Dutch would find himself battling through. By the time I entered kindergarten, I had already been soundly immersed in the world of wrestling, and it was here on the very first day that I met a classmate who would become my best friend. Soon, there were a lot of sleepovers at each other's homes, and I joyfully discovered that my best friend also loved wrestling. We spent many Saturday nights glued to the television, and then afterwards, we would spend the rest of the night imagining ourselves to be denizens of the ring, reenacting all the action we had just witnessed. As a kid, I can imagine myself to be a hero of the squared circle, with a name that brought fear and respect, something like Steel Knuckles. My friend and I would jump off the furniture, pretending that it was the top ropes. We would use pillows, picturing them to be steel folding chairs, swinging away at each other like the men on TV. And we would wrap tape around paper towel tubes and imagine them to be foreign weapons that had been smuggled into the ring when the ref wasn't looking. Then the ultimate came when my best friend had a 7-year-old birthday party, and his parents not only took us out for pizza, but they also took us to see Portland Wrestling, the show that we had been watching. We were even treated to a main event consisting of a 3-man tag team, including the Battling Midgets. I look back at the memory now with a fondness, but also through the eyes of a parent, and realize that taking a bunch of 6 and 7-year-olds to see grown men pretend to hate each other and beat on one another in a squared circle was probably not the kind of decision that would propel you to Parent of the Year status. Most people, of course, understand that professional wrestling is as fake as margarine that's pretending to be butter. It has been choreographed, and unless you are one of those people who think that the Tooth Fairy most likely got stuck in traffic, but will eventually come and retrieve that 40-year-old tooth that's under your pillow, you have come to the realization that it is all just an elaborate show. Sadly, this is not the case with Taxia. My childhood fantasy concerning a stout gladiator of the pro wrestling circuit named Steel Knuckles has been replaced by a 51-year-old flabby man named Jerky Cramps. I only wish, though, that all my self-inflicted injuries and falls had been scripted and rehearsed beforehand and only looked real. The best that I can do at this point is try and limit the kinds of situations that cause me to fall. A while ago at a taxi support group that I attend, we had a physical therapist come and talk to the group about balance concerns and some safety issues. The topic that he explored with us that is relevant to this article was the subject of falling. Most of us tense up, I know I do, when we trip or feel ourselves being pulled by that relentless stalker known as gravity. Myself, I'm always trying to avoid the invitation. The speaker was telling us that we need to just relax and lay ourselves gently on the ground, folding the knees and laying down sideways like you are getting into your bed. This would probably work great, but I always seem to forget and at the moment of stumbling, I stiffen up and fight it. After 10 to 15 seconds of impromptu, ritualistic style dancing, I usually end up falling anyway. And the fall is made worse by the fact that all my pre-fall dancing has only helped me to pick up a full head of steam so that when I do hit the ground, I'm sure to injure myself. The latest example of this was when I recently stumbled on my carport stairs, did a dance routine for a few moments, and then body slammed myself on the concrete driveway. Somehow, it all comes back to wrestling. I started childhood watching two opponents face each other in the rope-surrounded ring. As an adult, well, when I hear the bell and take a look around, I see only myself. You might think that this would be an easy win, but no, I usually lay the smackdown on myself and have become my own worst enemy.